Hey, good morning or good night. Hope everybody's doing good. It's been a long day. So, what I meant to say was, hope everybody's having a good night, a good Sunday. Hopefully, everybody's enjoying their time with their loved ones and everything on this good day. Same as always, hopefully, everybody's doing good with this whole thing going on right now. Hopefully, everybody's staying safe and playing it smart. Everybody's good and just, being smart about it. So, other than that, let's get this started. So, as yesterday, I said that today we were going to be talking about the New York Giants as they have pick number four. So, as always, questions, any questions, the live chat's open. My camera woman over there will raise her hand if any questions do pop up. So, don't be shy. And, let's get this show on the road. The Giants had an underwhelming season with a record of 4-12. 4-12 is not what they were looking at. But in order to understand the Giants, we really have to go back a little bit. So from 2016, 2017, they had a head coach in Ben McAdoo. Um, it looked promising. It didn't work out. Obviously, his whole record as a head coach was 13-19. They actually fired him in the middle of his second stint and replaced him with Steve Spagnuolo, the highly coveted defensive coordinator. And, he only coached for the team for a little bit. Then the following year, they went to 2018 and 2019, they went to Pat Shermer, who don't know how he got the job, but he got the job nonetheless. And it only lasted for 1 year. It only lasted for that time because on January 8th of this year, they hired a new coach, Joe Judge, who was a Bill Belichick project, a protege, I should say. They're thinking that, hey, maybe this is the guy that can be it. Don't really know much about him other than just under Bill Belichick, for a long time, and he was a good special teams coach. That's really all much I know, other than his college career was in Mississippi State, where he had some success. Then he came to New England, stayed with Bill for a bit, and then now he's the new head coach of the New York Giants. So as far as that, Dave Gettleman is still the general manager, so nothing changed there. Um, but yeah, let's see what Joe does. It's a new way for Giants, so we just have to see. It's a new everything for the Giants, really, because this is going to be like a new era. As people found out, Eli Manning retired, and that was sort of a anybody probably could have seen that a mile away. He just wasn't the same guy anymore. It's life, man. It happens. You get old and just gotta stop. You can't live forever unless you're like Ric Flair or Betty White. You can't do everything forever. But it's just now the new quarterback coming in, who they drafted last year at 6 overall, which was another surprise, is Daniel Jones out of Duke. Who I say surprised because yeah, he had a good Senior Bowl, he had a good combine, but if you were to tell me up until last year's draft if he was gonna be the 6th overall pick, nobody would have taken that bet. I think it was as shocked to us as it was to Giants fans when they heard, that hey, we drafted Daniel Jones out of Duke, and that probably wasn't the guy that they were expecting. But you know, with everything else, came another problem. Odell got traded to the Browns, and that managed to get them another first round pick, what they used with Dexter Lawrence, 17th overall, part of the, again, legendary defensive line from Clemson when they won that national championship with him, Christian Wilkins, Pharrell, and Austin Bryant. So at 17th overall, they took Dexter Lawrence, who actually had a good rookie year. It's going to take time, and he did his thing. It just, I think what it was just, the team wasn't performing well, and you know how it is when big markets really don't perform well, the players don't really get looked at too well. But Dexter Lawrence had a good rookie year, I would say. Um, I think him and Leonard Williams, now that they're together again, I think they're gonna. That's one part of the unit that I think stands strong is that defensive line for the Giants. Just him and Leonard Williams alone, it's gonna cause a little bit of problems, and I think it's good. I think it's good that the Giants took care of the way. But Gettleman in last draft was very aggressive compared to other drafts. He actually traded back into the first round, late into the first round with the 30th pick, and they took DeAndre Baker, and that was sort of a surprise as well because just before prior to that, they drafted Eli Apple, who got cut, went to the Saints, and only played a year. Then, or got traded to the Saints, finished out his season there, did good, and then this offseason he signed with the Raiders for a 1 year deal. So I mean, we'll see what happens there. But it was just kind of the end for Eli. When they took him in the first, after 2 years, I guess they just figured it just wasn't going to work out, whether it was scheme fit, personality fit, person fit, we don't know. But yeah, they went DeAndre Baker at 30th overall last year, and they took him in the first round with 30th overall out of Georgia. And then the surprising thing to me was, which is kind of weird for us, was we all thought they were going to go offensive line somewhere early in the draft, and they didn't get one until the 7th. So that was kind of like, well, that was a big need, but they didn't get one in the 7th. I mean, but like I always say, we don't know what's going on in practices. We don't know what was going on in the war rooms. We don't know what was going on. So, they know the team better than we do. It's just looking at it from the outside in, we were all thinking, oh, offensive line, this is, you got to keep Eli upright, and then whoever does come in after Eli, which we all know now is Daniel Jones, we got to keep him upright in order for him to have a clean pocket and everything. So it was a little surprising that they did take they took a center in the 7th out of Kentucky, and he was just what he was, just a 7th rounder, George DG, and he was he's 7th rounder. I mean, you get what you get, It was a high risk, low pick value, so I mean, maybe they saw something we didn't, and hopefully it works out for the kid. And like I said, I always root for all these guys that do get drafted, go undrafted. It's just they can do the things that we wish we can do. It's just sometimes you just wonder like why they wait so late. But like I said, they know something we don't know. So then, as far as all that, they actually had a pretty decent draft. They went Darius Slayton, a wide receiver, and then they also got Julian Love, a corner out of Notre Dame, who actually had, some teams out of, second, third round talent, but for them to pick him up in the 4th, they probably were jumping up and down for joy. I mean, so, they did some really good picks. It's just it didn't work out because, I reference the Giants to, that movie Friday Night Lights. There's no problem building a team around one guy, or making plays or making sure the team goes around one guy, which is Saquon Barkley. The problem is when your one guy goes down, okay, now what do you do? So that was the thing. It's, once Saquon went down, it was just kind of bad comings. And then Eli started the year. They went to Daniel Jones. Then they went back to Eli, and then they finished with Daniel Jones. And I think that was just kind of the eye opener that Eli Manning had, that his time in New York was done. And he felt comfortable that he did everything he could for the NFL. So, from a football fan, I congratulate Eli from doing everything he did. Those 2 Super Bowl runs, those were some really good runs, and they had to beat the Patriots twice, which was kind of ironic, because the Patriots looked like the better team in both times. It's just the Giants beat them both times, and hey, that happens. That happens sometimes. You might have the better team on paper, but sometimes it just doesn't work out that way. So, other than that, as far as everything, I think it's pretty much set what the Giants have to do. They have their quarterback, they have their running back, they have an elite running back in Saquon, they have Daniel Jones now. They have their tight end in Gerald Everett, they have their receiver in Darius Slayton now. They have key pieces in there. There's just some needs that do still need to be addressed on both sides, offense and defensively, because again, no matter how good you were last year, you can always improve. But in the Giants' case, improvement is needed everywhere, especially with teams picking in the half order in the draft, 1 through 16. improvement is needed everywhere. So, um, as far as that goes, I do think the Giants do have a plan as far as like the system they want to run, the things they want to do. The only thing that's kind of holding this back is, this Joe Judge head coach, the new coach. We don't really know what his identity is. We really don't know what he's going to bring to the table. Like, all right, do you trust Daniel Jones? Are you going to be a running team with Saquon? Because, you have, one of the elite running backs in the league. So are you going to run? Are you going to be a passing team now? I mean, we don't know. It's just the Joe Judge thing is sort of kind of like a mysterious thing. So, but other than that, I mean, they're just a couple pieces away, I think, where they can really compete for the NFC East. And, I know some people are thinking like, yeah, the Cowboys look good. Yeah, the Eagles look good. But I mean, really, you know, let's put it like this. Somebody has to win the NFC East, because that's the playoff format. Last year, that's what it was. It was like, you won the NFC East. Okay, that's great. Somebody has to win it. Okay, so it's sort of like, the equivalence to the AFC South. Like, okay, somebody has to win the AFC South. So, all right, not to knock on them, but I mean, it's just the competition wasn't really there. The Redskins were a mess. The Giants were in a change of functions, and then you had Dallas and Philadelphia just trying to battle for the division, which it wasn't really like, in a sense, you could really say that Dallas did blow it, but we'll get to them at another time. So for now, it's just the Giants, and I think they truly are just a piece or two away to kind of make it something happen. I know with Daniel Jones, just being a second year, it is gonna probably take a little bit more time because I didn't think he was going to be drafted at 6. I don't think nobody thought he was going to be drafted at number 6. I knew somebody was going to take a chance. I just didn't think it was that early. So, but like I said, with Dexter Lawrence, Leonard Williams there, and then you have that offensive line of Will Hernandez, Nate Solder, they're building right. It's just going to take a couple more pieces, and they could compete this year and maybe next year, but we just have to see what Joe Judge, decides to do. I mean, and we'll see. I mean, they're going to compete, obviously. Everybody competes. It's just we're going to see what happens, and then we're just going to see where everything falls into place. So, other than that, I think it is now time to predict what I think the Giants will do at pick number 4. No sound today, guys. Yeah, sorry. Oh, you want to do the sound still? Oh, okay, do the sound, sweetie. Yeah, she loves that thing. All right, so with the 4th pick in the 2020 NFL Draft, the NFL or the New York Football Giants select Jedrick Willis, offensive tackle, Alabama. Like I said earlier, I truly believe they are key pieces away, but the way Dave Gettleman needs to start working is working in the trenches. You did a good last year getting an interior defensive lineman, which is good, which is really good. Now you have to work on the offensive side. And, a lot of people probably will be confused as this pick, Jedrick Willis, he's a good left tackle, but the best left tackle, the reason I think Jedrick Willis is the pick here is you got to remember where he came from. He came from Alabama. And the quarterback at Alabama was Tua Tagovailoa. He was a lefty. So in a sense, Jedrick Willis was the blind side protector for Tua. I think, Jedrick Willis will, shift to right tackle for now and need be later down the road when it's Nate Solder's time to go, whether it's, they don't re-sign him or he just decides to call it quits. Jedrick Willis will probably take over, but I think right now, Jedrick Willis probably is the right man for the New York Giants. And just to give you an idea of who Jedrick Willis is, he's a 6'4" kid, so he's got the height. 312 pounds, so he's got the bulk. Arm length is perfect for a right tackle at 34 and a quarter, because a lot of people don't realize, the difference between left tackle and a right tackle. The left tackle is, your prototypical blindside protector because majority of the quarterbacks are right-handed, so they can't see anything coming out of their left side. So with Jedrick being, the blindside protector for Tua, I think it'll be a better fit for them systematically, only due to the fact that they want to go younger. They want to open the hole for Saquon, and it showed. They want to give Saquon the ball. So, 34 arm length, 10 and a quarter hand size. That's, he's got the power. He's got the power to do it. The 40 time is really not important. It is important, but it's really not the big thing for offensive linemen. The big thing for offensive linemen is that 10-yard split. And his 10-yard split was 1.8. That's like really good. That's really good. For an offensive lineman, that's almost, like, damn, you got there pretty quick. So, and then, his broad jump, he has that, quick acceleration to do what he needs to do. But, Jedrick Willis, he's just I believe he's the better pass blocking tackle. I'm not saying he's the best offensive tackle. He's just the better pass blocking offensive tackle. And to prove it, I'm taking this word out of the guys at Alabama, that Alabama, his whole career of 929 pass blocking snaps that he took, he only allowed 1 sack, which I think is impressive, to allow 1 sack, especially against guys in the SEC who are just known as more a defensive conference in college. To only give up 1 sack as a offensive tackle, I mean, that's amazing. So I believe that'll be probably the pick. There could be a trade, there could be none. Like I said, in this whole mock draft, it's just a straight shoot. There's really no trades here. There's no trades here. And yeah, Jedrick Willis at 4, I think, makes sense for them right now, only due to the fact that they do need a right tackle. Jedrick Willis is, the best pass blocking tackle in the draft. So why not just take a chance? And, now you have Nate Sauter, Will Hernandez, and Jedrick Willis, who are still young. And yeah, I say take a chance. And I think we have a question. Do we? All right, hit me. What's the question?
Okay. Julian Garcia.
Okay.
Why not go defense?
Why not? Because I think they already invested last year for, 2 first-rounders. They got, Dexter Lawrence, as I mentioned, and they got DeAndre Baker. So I think what it is now is just truly trying to help Daniel Jones become a better pro, to make his life easier in the NFL. I don't, defense is always an option at 4. I'm not saying that's out of the question. I just believe that what I think will happen is Jedrick Willis at 4 is probably, the better option right now, because, like I said, Nate Sauter and Will Hernandez covering the left side is pretty good. And, I've talked to, Julian about this. Will Hernandez is going to be one of the better left guards in the NFL. He's just a mauler, but what they need right now is somebody to start building on the right side, and I think that's the way to go, is Jedrick Willis. Any other ones or any other questions? Just anything else?
No.
That was it from him?
No, I'm just complaining about my sound again.
Oh, again? Well, he loves that sound. You know that. He loves that sound. So, but yeah, other than that, I mean, there's nothing much more. I mean, the upside's there. The upside's there for him, and I think that's what it is. I think they wouldn't be in the situation had they gone offensive lineman last year, but they went a different route. They wanted their future QB. They wanted to get, Dexter Lawrence, DeAndre Baker, who they traded up to get. Remember, they only had 2 first-rounders. They actually traded back into the first to get him. So they obviously loved him that much that they didn't think he was going to be there again when they picked in the second round. So, and that's the thing. When you trade up, you really love him and you really love this guy, and that you want to try to get him any way you can. So they obviously have something for DeAndre. So that's the upside's there for Jedrick, I believe. And like I said, I mean, second round, they have an early pick in the second round again anyway. So maybe they'll go defense there. Maybe, who knows? But as far as that, I think that'll probably be the best system fit for them right now is the offensive tackle for Alabama. So you know, that is, and that would be it. I think that is going to be the probably the another shocker, which is another surprise for the Giants. But if we learned anything, the Giants are just full of surprises, and I think this will probably be a surprise that I think Giants fans will love. And that'll wrap it up with this video. Tomorrow we will be talking about the team with 3 first-round picks, the Miami Dolphins. And that's I'm gonna see how that's gonna work. I'm gonna see maybe do all 3 or maybe just split it out. We don't split them apart. We don't know yet. But I'll let you guys know tomorrow. But yeah, tomorrow the Dolphins have the 5th pick. They also have the 18th pick and the 26th pick, because of all the trades they did and all the crazy hoopla that was going on in Miami with Brian Flores coming in, just coming in and really saying, hey, I'm going to build this team my way. So I give him credit. It takes a lot of guts to trade away, very promising players at a very young age to try to get another first rounder. And, the saying goes, once you hit a golden ticket in the first round, you never put that golden ticket back in the pot to get more picks. You try to keep them and build, but he believes that he can do it. He believes having these 3 first-round picks will help the team tremendously. And the Dolphins have been, active in free agency. They've been active off season. So I mean, it's impressive what they're doing. It's just we'll see what's up with the story tomorrow. Another question? All right, what's going on?
Okay.
From who?
Same person.
All right.
How will Daniel Jones look this year? Improvements
as far as Daniel Jones. I think if they do decide to go with the Jedrick Willis pick, I think his passing, I think his timing with his receivers will be better. Because that's the thing. When you put them in, take them out, put them in, it messes up with them mentally. It messes up with their timing with the receivers, the receivers, tight ends, running backs. It messes them up. The timing's all wrong. I think with now a full off season, a new head coach, just a new era for the Giants, I think that now finally that, okay, Daniel Jones knows that there's no worries. It's his show. Like, he has the keys to the franchise now. Now it's up to him to improve, but improvement-wise, I think it will be better. I think now he's going to have more opportunity to, really play his game like he played in Duke, which was more bootleg, more play actions, run the ball, set up the pass, and I think he'll improve. I think his yardage won't be anything like, oh man, like, crazy, like high flyers like we see today, but I think his touchdowns will improve, and I truly believe his interceptions will go down. I truly believe that, and honestly, I think if he learned anything is to take care better of the football, because he did lose, I think it was 6 fumbles, or he did lose the ball 6 times. So I think now if he's going to be part of that play action and bootleg and everything, he has to learn, like, hey, when it's not there, it's not there. Just get rid of it. And I think he's going to learn that. And, he's a smart kid. I will give him that. He was a smart kid. And, yeah, I think he'll improve in that area. I think he'll be better, like, protecting the football, as they say. Any other questions or statements? Any comments that was left? We all good?
Yeah.
All right. Well, guys, that wraps it up for today's video. I will be on Facebook Live still if any other questions arise. And like I said, tomorrow, Miami at pick 5. So we'll see what happens. I think you guys might want to tune in. I got a surprise for you guys tomorrow. What might happen? So just from what I'm hearing and reading articles around the league, and just as the best word is, smoke screens. I think there's the time of smoke screens, and I do have a smoke screen for you guys tomorrow. But hopefully you guys tune in, and you all have a wonderful night, and we will see you guys tomorrow.